Okay, welcome to my kitchen. This is our oven and grill cleaner. This is what I'm going to use first. I had to preheat my oven to the lowest setting, which I did, and I shut it off now. If you have 100 or 150, whatever your lowest setting is, preheat it to that. And then we're just going to spray the inside. So I've been doing turkeys and whatnot in here this past Christmas, so it's time for a cleaning. I'm just going to spray it all down. And it does take about 10 minutes. Just spray it and leave it for about 10 minutes and then come back. My favorite part of the demonstration is already done though. I didn't have to cough. It doesn't stink. I can do this demonstration in a room full of 20 people and nobody will have to leave to get air. And I love that. This oven and grill cleaner is made out of natural ingredients. It's actually made from the same things that we have in our digestive tract. Amylase, lipase, those enzymes that break down food inside of us is what will break down the food that's been splattered in my oven. So again, nature, we're just using nature to maximize the way we clean. So while that's sitting, I'm going to come over here and show you my chicken test. I was alluding to earlier, this is raw piece of chicken here. I'm just going to make a bit of a mess on my counter. I know this kind of goes against what any good housewife would ever do, but I always like to say it's for the greater good. So we're going to do this test twice. These are very sensitive tests to protein. How it works is I'm just going to unscrew this and bring up some of the sample of our dirty countertop. We'll do a before and an after. And then the liquid in here has copper ions that will react to the protein. We just got to introduce it down there to the swab and give it a minute. Now with my cloth, I'm just going to clean up that residue with just a swipe. I'm going to stick it in my sink and I'll rinse it out in a minute. Now we're going to do the test again. So that same area, I just used water and a cloth to wipe up. We're going to test again to see if there's any residual protein left behind. Alright, so how this test works, this is the graph basically that shows you the more purple the result is. This is our before here, so it's quite purple. The more purple means the more protein was on that surface. So it was no fake chicken. It was a lot of protein on there. And then after I use my cloth to just wipe, you can see this is absolutely green. Green, there's a 0 right here. 0 means there's 0 protein. There's nothing. There's no residue left behind on that counter at all. And this swab proves it. So the science of that is all here. If you want to see the science, you're welcome to read it. Basically, protein plus copper ions equals purple. And that's how this test works. Works every time. I've used my 10-year-old cloth and it still works as well. So I love the fact that Norwex guarantees me a clean higher than anything else I've ever used. So, and it's so much easier. Now that we've done that, I just want to introduce to you a few other of my favorite products. One of them is the cleaning paste, which looks like this. The cleaning paste is made out of marble flour, chalk, natural soap, and just a trace of coconut oil. I really love it for cleaning the bottom of my frying pans. This is my favorite frying pan because I use it all the time and it had gotten quite golden. But I used my cleaning paste and it just took that golden stuff right off. So that's one thing you can do with it. I also have a flat stove top. So one of my favorite things, here I was boiling chicken soup broth yesterday and I left it here so that you guys can see how this works with that. I'm just going to wet my spare sponge. Oh, and I'm going to rinse my cloth while I'm here. Okay, so I dip my spear sponge in the cleaning paste. I get some of that white stuff on there. And then I'm just going to clean that oven. And this doesn't scratch, by the way. The spear sponge is guaranteed not to scratch. I use it on, you know, if I have Teflon pot, anything that I'm worried about scratching. Some people use it in their shower stalls. You can use it anywhere that you need to be careful and it won't scratch. So just rub it in and then I use my cloth to clean it up. That burn is gone. So that's one of my favorite things. The other thing I really like to use it on is my kitchen sink. It's not too dirty, but it should still You should be able to kind of see how this works. You just rub it in, and I do this about every 2 weeks or so. It coincidentally coincides with when I have company coming over. But about every 2 weeks, I like to give it a good polish, and it pulls out, you know, I'm a coffee drinker, so I'm pouring coffee down my sink. Look at that. I did this like 4 days ago, and it's still black, my cloth. But that's what happens. Stainless steel traps stuff inside, and it makes it look less shiny. So if you can just rub down the area, and then remove that cleaning paste, even easier if you just rinse it away with some water. See how the water just beads off? That's because the coconut oil that's in here just leaves a tiny bit of a seal. So it kind of cleans, polishes, and protects all in one. So really, really simple way to make your sinks look brand new. I love it on stains on a countertop. I have a darker countertop, but I've done this in many people's homes where they have a light countertop and they might have a tea stain or something on their countertop. It takes out a lot of stains. There's so many things you can do with it, and it can be used on, let me see the lid here, tons of things. It can be used on chrome, nickel, stainless steel, aluminum, plastic, enamel, ceramic, porcelain, tiles, and similar materials. So I clean my grout with it. Most people get about 2 years out of one pot. It lasts a really long time. It's just a nice thing to have on hand. Anytime I have a stainless steel kettle or anything that I want polished up, I grab my cleaning paste. So we still need to give the oven a couple minutes. While we're doing that, I'm going to show you my mop system. This is our mop. This is the large size. We have one that's a bit smaller, but this is the one I use in my house because I have very little carpeting. And we have 2 pads that will go with it. The yellow one is used for dry, so you'll put that one on first. And it's just Velcro, so all you have to do is grab, really easy. Now it's set to go. The next thing you're going to need to do is adjust the height of the mop handle. Wherever your nose is the best height for you individually. This will be ergonomic, it'll save your lower back. When I used to do all my floors with a regular mop that was too low, I always had a sore back. But now that I have a proper size mop, and it does go up to that high, so even spouses, you know, they shouldn't have an excuse that they can't help you out with the floors. Just tighten it wherever your nose is and you're ready to go. The base swivels in every single possible direction, which means it's really easy to get in and around tight places. I can clean under my bed without moving my bed. I can clean under couches. But on a regular flat floor surface, all you're going to do is grab particles and dust and hair. Even things as fine as drywall dust and pollen are picked up like our dusting mitt. That's the same kind of fiber that we have on our dry mop. So like the dusting mitt, all those things are grabbed inside and just removed. Brooms tend to throw a lot of dust up in the air. Vacuums, same thing. A lot of vacuums allow stuff to go out and into the air, but this just picks those things up and makes it stick. The things that are larger, you're going to want to make a little pile of your Cheerios and your bigger crumbs. You know, make that into a pile. But in my house, we have 3 girls with long hair and a dog, so hair is probably one of the biggest things that I love that this will pick up. So take it to a local garbage can. There we go. And just dust off with the rubber brush. The rubber brush is fantastic for removing pet hair off of couches as well. All that stuff can go in there. Even better, what I like to do is just to take this right outside and brush this off really vigorously outside and allow all that dust to go back out there. So when you're done with the dry, that's when you're going to want to use the wet. So with the wet one, you just need to come to the sink and wet it down. And give it a good wring. You don't want a lot of water left on your mop. If you're careful to rinse it well and wring it well, you won't have streaks, even on the darkest hardwood. So wet it down, throw it down. I love that there's no bucket to carry around. I used to hate getting my bucket. I would make my husband bring me the bucket, and then at least, you know, that part of the job was done and I would do the rest. So with the mopping, same idea. I always like to go in a figure 8 backwards motion. Now if you get to something that's a little bit tricky, doesn't come off immediately, like here it must have been juice or honey spill, I just use just a little bit of pinpoint pressure with my big toe. I call it the toe maneuver, and it'll pick it right up. Same thing, what if something accidentally drops right in my grout? Same idea, just rub it in my grout line and it'll pick it right up. The nice thing about this system is that it does not leave water dripping, dirty water dripping into your grout. Most bucket systems have dirty water that falls into the grout line and makes the grout dirtier and dirtier. But with this, no water is dripping off the mop and going into your grout, so your grout will stay clean longer. So continue to wash your floor, and then about once per room, when I'm done my kitchen, I would just take that mop back, rub it against itself under running water, wring it out, and do another room. So about once every room is when you'll rinse it. The other thing I really like about it can be used overhead as well. So if I wanted to use it to wash walls or ceilings, there's a lock right here. See this swivel? If you push that swivel flat up, now it only goes front to back, the mop, instead of every which way. So you can use it for overhead jobs as well. Just unlock again for floors so that it swivels in every direction. When you're doing it on floors, swiveling every direction is when you can just go alongside of your bed and it can go low, and you can do underneath your whole bed without having to move it. So it's a really easy to use mop. It's light. It looks like a heavy mop, but you'll be shocked at how light it is. Then when you're done, you can machine wash these pads. Again, no bleach, no fabric softener. And then just leave one of the pads to the side when you're done with it. Use it all week and then put it to wash at the end of the week. So that's our mop system. Okay, next we're going to get back to our oven. Now what I like to use is spear nets to make the job go even faster. They come in a pack of 2. They're 100% stainless steel. They'll never rust. They would kind of replace what you might use an SOS pad. But SOS pads were so annoying because they would rust so quickly, plus they're full of chemical. There's nothing inside, it's just 100% stainless steel. So I just run it really quickly over the areas that I sprayed. They need to be used with water, so make sure you do use them with water. Gonna get a bit more water. Okay. All right, and now I'm gonna wipe this away with my cloth. There we go. All that grease and grime removed. So I can do my whole oven like this. I can use it on stainless or on self-cleaning ovens. I wouldn't use the scrubby on a self-cleaning oven, but you can use the spray, and it does, with even just a cloth, it does a fantastic job of cleaning out your oven without polluting your air as well. So that's it for our kitchen demo. We'll meet you back at the table for just a few more minutes, and then we'll be done. Thanks.